41 were kidnapped by Hamas in a music festival during the October 7 attacks.
All 4 have been taken to hospital and reunited with their families. Hamas claims more than 200 people were killed, including other Israeli hostages, during the IDF's intense bombardment of the Nuseirat refugee camp.
And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has praised Israeli forces for the rescue operation, reiterating his commitment to securing the release of all hostages. But Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is calling for an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council to discuss what he's calling a bloody massacre. While US President Joe Biden and other world leaders welcomed the rescue, they also stressed the need for a ceasefire in Gaza.
I want to echo President Macron's comments welcoming the safe rescue of 4 hostages that were returned to their families in Israel. We won't stop working until all the hostages come home and a ceasefire is reached. That is essential.
Back home, around 500 people gathered in Melbourne's southeast, singing, dancing and waving flags to celebrate the rescue of the 4 Israeli hostages in Gaza. Police at the scene says, despite some traffic issues, the crowd was dispersed without incident.
Australian brothers Callum and Jake Robinson have been farewelled at a memorial service in Perth 6 weeks after they were murdered in Mexico. The pair was surfing and camping in a remote part of Baja California when they disappeared in late April. Their bodies were found days later in a well a short distance from their campsite. Family members and friends gathered last night to celebrate their lives.
We're not here to dwell on the where or the how, or try to understand the why of their passing, but instead to say goodbye to 2 young men and hopefully start the healing process for everyone.
In New South Wales, flood warnings remain in place for the Hawkesbury region in Sydney's north, despite water levels receding. The Hawkesbury River at North Richmond has reached the moderate flood level, but the bridge remains closed. The Windsor Bridge, however, remains accessible to traffic.
The wife of missing British TV presenter Michael Mosley says she has not lost hope as the search continues. The 67-year-old went missing 4 days ago on the Greek island of Symi when he left for a walk without his phone. Recently released CCTV footage appears to show Dr. Mosley walking through a village on the island towards rocky hills. His 4 adult children have flown to the Greek island to assist with the search.
Another body has been spotted off the coast of Libya a day after 11 migrant corpses were recovered from the Mediterranean Sea. Italy has urged Tunisia and Libya to step up efforts to deter migrants crossing the sea illegally and have started to limit rescue operations. The UN has registered more than 20,000 deaths in the central Mediterranean since 2014, making it the most dangerous migrant crossing in the world.
It's not an emergency that we don't know anything about. It's not something unpredictable. People will always try to find a safe life, and there should be legal channels to escape from absolutely inhumane situations.
The Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has cancelled all her engagements after a man assaulted her in Copenhagen yesterday. The PM's office says she suffered a minor whiplash injury and shock, but has now been discharged from hospital. Reports indicate the 39-year-old assailant was drunk and under the he's been sentenced to 12 days in custody.
The Slovakian Prime Minister Robert Fico has cast his vote for the European Parliament in a hospital in the 3rd day of voting across the EU. Mr. Fico is recovering after being seriously wounded in an assassination attempt 3 weeks ago. He blamed the country's opposition for fostering hatred that led to the shooting. Opposition parties have held regular demonstrations against Mr. Fico's government since it took power last year.
The Princess of Wales has apologised for missing a final rehearsal before the Trooping the Colour parade in honour of the King's birthday. Princess Catherine, who is the honorary colonel of the Irish Guards, wished the regiment luck as she recovers from cancer. It's unclear if the 42-year-old will attend next weekend's ceremony.
Staying in Britain, and London's streets have been filled with bare bottoms as bike riders stripped off to protest the car-centric culture in Britain. The World Naked Bike Ride aims to demonstrate the vulnerability of cyclists and create a fun atmosphere for standers. The ride started at various points across the city before merging into a group of more than 1,000 cyclists that rode to the iconic Wellington Arch. That's a lot of kickstands in there.
Each to their own. You do you.
Yeah, indeed. I think it would be so uncomfortable, though, wouldn't it?
Extremely
So uncomfortable riding a bicycle.
Painful even.
Yes.
Yes.
Not want to do that.
Anyway, whatever you want to do with your time. Yeah. Let's talk sport. Let's change the topic, Jared. Can you help us here, please?
I didn't see any of you two in there, but it was mainly from the back, so who knows?
No, let's clarify. We were not there.
All right, just checking. You don't support bike riders, fair enough. Let's talk tennis. Iga Swiatek, she's achieved the rare feat of winning her third successive French Open women's title with a comprehensive victory over Italian 12th seed Jasmine Paolini. The Pole continued her recent dominance on the Roland Garros clay with a 6-2, 6-1 win against first-time major finalist Paolini, the world number one, trailed by an early break, but she instantly hit back. She then won 11 of the next 12 games to end up winning comfortably. The win was the 23-year-old's fourth title in Paris and a fifth Grand Slam triumph overall. And Australia has beaten England by 36 runs in their men's T20 World Cup match in Barbados. Batting first, Australia finished at 7 for 201, with David Warner top scoring with 39 runs. Mitch Marsh made 35 and Travis Head contributed 34 from just 18 deliveries. In reply, England was restricted to a total of 6 for 165, with Pat Cummins and Adam Zampa both taking 2 wickets. Australia is now undefeated from 2 matches. And the ACT Brumbies are through to the semi-finals in Super Rugby Pacific after beating the Highlanders 32 points to 16 in Canberra. Billy Pollard and Andy Muirhead scored doubles, with the home side advancing to a showdown with the Blues in Auckland. That'll be next weekend. The Brumbies are the only Australian side left in the competition after the Rebels and Reds were eliminated. The Rebels, who won't be playing in next year's competition due to financial troubles, lost to the Hurricanes 47 points to 20. And George Russell is on pole at the Canadian Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri, the Aussie, in 4th position. And Dan Ricciardo, good performance for him. His best this season. He'll start from 5th on the grid.
Okay, nice one. Thanks, Jared.
Yeah.
Now let's check the weather in the capital cities. In Brisbane, early sunny with a top of 23 degrees. Sydney and Canberra, partly cloudy. For Melbourne, showers easing. In Hobart, a shower or two, but clearing later on. Cloudy day for Adelaide, showers in Perth, and in Darwin, sunny, reaching a top of 30 degrees. 4 Israeli hostages have been rescued alive from inside Gaza in what Israel's military says is one of the most daring operations ever.
Israeli forces used airstrikes and gunfire as cover for the rescue operation, with Gazan health authorities reporting at least 210 Palestinians were killed in the same area. Our Middle East correspondent Alison Horn has the story from Jerusalem, a warning to our viewers that the following shows some disturbing images.
It's the most successful Israeli hostage rescue to date. 4 captives held in 2 separate residential buildings in central Gaza, freed after weeks of military planning. Noah Argamani, Almog Miajan, Andrei Kozlov and Shlomi Ziv were all taken hostage from the Nova Music Festival during the Hamas attacks on October 7. The Israeli military says the operation to rescue the group unfolded under fire in the heart of the Nusrat neighbourhood in central Gaza, confirming they used airstrikes and other on-the-ground methods as cover during the operation. Gazan health authorities say those strikes and other operations in the Nusrat area killed at least 200 Palestinians, including some who were in a central marketplace, and hundreds more were injured. Israel says it was being fired at by Hamas militants on the streets. The 4 hostages have been reunited with their families and are said to be in good health, including Noah Argamani, who became one of the faces of the October 7 attack, driven away from Israel on the back of a motorbike.